Hi everyone, this is Dr. Markham. I'm going to show you how to make your representation of the mid-ocean ridge and the differences in the polarity of the rocks that you just learned about. So you're going to need a piece of paper. It can be any size, but if you have like a printer piece of paper, it can even be scrap paper that has some writing on it that you don't want to use anymore. That'll work too. And you're going to need a couple of pens of different colors. So you can pause the video here if you need to go get your materials. But if you have them already, go ahead and take a pen and we're going to label the corners of our paper 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go in a clockwise manner. So I can't fit the whole paper in my video, so I'm just going to move the paper around so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start in the upper left-hand corner, do a 1, move over to the other corner, do a 2, move down, do a 3, and then move over and do a 4. So I've got all 4 corners marked in a clockwise manner. So once you have that done, you're going to take corners 1 and 4 and you're going to fold it over to meet 2 and 3 and fold it in half and then make a crease down the middle. And try and make your paper as straight as possible. If it's not perfect, that is just fine. All right, and then you're gonna open it back up and you've got a nice crease down the middle. Now, if you have a ruler, this would be a handy time to use one. I don't have one near me, so I'm just gonna use the crease as my guidance. And I'm gonna draw a line right down the middle. Okay, so I have a line right down the middle, and I am going to label this. So you're going to go ahead and do this as well. Go ahead and label this mid-ocean ridge. Okay, so you're labeling the middle, that middle line you just drew is the mid-ocean ridge. Now remember that the mid-ocean ridge occurs, it runs like, this particular ridge runs like a scar down the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And the mid-ocean ridge is formed at divergent plate boundaries. And it's where those plate tectonics, those plates are being forced apart. They're being moved apart. And that movement comes from both underneath in the mantle, where the pressure from the molten rock and the heat from the Earth's core is pushing those plates, pushing that magma up, pushing those plates up. And then you also have pressure and force from above, not only from just the weight of the water, but also as oceanic crust ages, as it gets older, you should remember it gets more dense. And so it's actually kind of pushing down, which is why we get subduction zones in other places. So we're going to focus on the mid-ocean ridge today, where new crust is being formed. But it's always important to remember why this is happening. So you should, at this point, have your numbers. Your paper should have been folded in half, and you should have a line drawn down the middle with the mid-ocean ridge labeled. Now, as you learned in the video, basalt rock, the rock that's made at divergent boundaries at this mid-ocean ridge, it maintains the polarity of, it has magnetic properties. So it'll have the polarity of the earth at that time. So let's just decide that our new rock being formed right now, the top is north. All right, so I'm gonna write an N at the top, and I'm gonna write an S at the bottom for south. Okay, so we could even do the same on the other side, because remember, rock is being, crust is being created, rock is being formed on both sides of the mid-ocean ridge. Okay, so we've got 2 norths, 1 on either side of the mid-ocean ridge, and 2 souths. So now I'm gonna turn my paper over, and I'm actually gonna write on the back, and I'm gonna do this in another color so that it's easier to keep track of. I'm gonna label it again, but I'm gonna write same thing, moving clockwise, A, B, C, and D. Okay, so that's all I have to do there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my B and my C side, and I'm gonna fold it towards the middle so that I now see the 1 and the 4, okay? So one more time, take the B and the C side, you're folding it towards the middle, and now you see the 1 and the 4, and I am gonna crease that, all right? And then I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Take the A and the D side, and I'm gonna fold it towards the middle, so I now see the 2 and the 3, and I'm going to crease that, all right? So I've now got 2 more creases, and then you can unfold, and you can actually flip it over. So you should have like the start of like an accordion, right? Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is we gotta put more folds in it. So I'm gonna start over on my side that has the 2 and the 3. I've got my 1 fold, all right? So I'm gonna fold the 2 and the 3 under, all right? So it looks like this. I'm gonna turn it sideways so it's easier to see. And I'm gonna take those 2 corners, and I am going to fold them right into the center, okay? So I'm gonna fold them in towards the center. I'm actually gonna pull this tail out. So I realized you shouldn't, so let me try this one more time. All right, so I've got my 1 crease that we made before, and instead of folding it under, just leave it out and take that crease, take your fingers on that crease and just fold it towards the center, okay? And you can fold that down, and then you're gonna fold 1 more time. So you're gonna take where it says 2 and 3, and you're gonna flip those over, fold them towards the center so that I now see A and D, okay? So we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So if I confused you a little, I apologize, but let's do it together on the other side. And if you need to come back and fix anything on this side, you can. So I'm gonna leave that other side folded for the moment. So I'm now on my side that says 1 and 4. And so I'm gonna take my I'm gonna take my thumb and index finger, and I'm gonna kind of make this crease, that first crease I made, really apparent in between my fingers. And I'm going to fold it right to the center. Okay, and I'm gonna rub that down so it makes another crease. And then I'm gonna take 1 and 4 and fold those, whoops, towards the center so that I now see, I see the letters C and B. And you know what? This is not art class, right? It doesn't have to be a beautiful masterpiece, okay? The important part is that it shows the creases, because those will become important in a moment. So now I've got a paper that I now see the letters on the outside, all right? So once you have that, take a moment if you need to fix anything, especially on that first side we did together. You can go ahead and pause and fix that, but when you're ready, go ahead and